Om Gananam Tva Ganapatikum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamasravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shrunvannutifis Dasadanam Shri Mahaganadipataye Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om. Dear friends, we have just completed this shloka. Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddhyos Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. This sentence, this Bhashyam also we read. I think only the last line, as you said, that last line is remaining. This shloka tells, in this shloka Sri Krishna tells that Yogasthaha san Kuru Karmani, being established in Karma Yoga, you do your job. Karma Yoga means there are two components of Karma Yoga. Number one, Ishvara, karma, doing karma with an Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, doing karma as an order from the Lord. And number two, Yoga Anusthana, a simultaneous cleansing of the mind, cleaning of the mind by practicing this Shama, Dhamma, Uparati and all these things, Ashtanga Yoga, all those things, they have been told. So these two components are there in Karma Yoga. Yogasthaha san means being established in that sort of frame of mind. In that yoga means in that frame of mind you be established and then you do your karma. And then Siddhya Siddhyos Samo Bhutva. Do not be bothered about success or failure. So Siddhya Siddhyos, you have that Samatva Buddhi, you have that equanimity of mind. And that Samatvam is called yoga. So the last line we were reading, last line of the Bhashyam we were reading, Kosav Yogaha Yatrasthaha Kuru Ityuktaha Ityuktam Idameva Tat Siddhya Siddhyos Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So this is again, as we just said, Siddhi Asiddhyoho Samatvam. That is equanimity or Samatvam or sameness of approach towards success or failure. So that is what is the picture here. Siddhya Siddhyos Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. That yoga, what is that yoga? Where you are enjoined, where you are directed to do karma. So he says, Kosav Yogaha means, what is that yoga? Kaha asav Yogaha, Kosav Yogaha, Yatrasthaha Kuru Ityuktam, wherein you are said, you are directed to do a karma. So Tada Idameva Tat. Idameva Tat means, it is this. What is that? Siddhya Siddhyoho Samatvam. That is being equal to Siddhi and Asiddhi. That itself is yoga. So that is what is that shloka. Let us read the next shloka. Durena Hyavaram Karma Buddhi Yogat Dhananjaya Buddhau Sharanam Anvichya Krupana Phalahetavaha. Okay. So in this shloka again, this is again a continuation of the commendation of Karma Yoga. Commendation of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means Nishkama Karma. The commendation of Nishkama Karma is continuing in this shloka also. So he says, those who desire for the fruit of their action, they are Krupanaha, they are Deenaha, they are to be pitied, they are very, very pitiable people because they do not know that they keep on moving in this transmigratory circle. They do not know. Or they are happy, they are very happy with that. They are very, very happy with that transmigratory, say, type of existence. So those people have to be pitied. So that is why karma is far inferior to Karma Yoga. That is the first line says, Durena Hyavaram Karma Buddhi Yogat Dhananjaya. Buddhi Yogat means Samatva Buddhi Yogat, Karma Yogat. In comparison with Karma Yoga, this karma, doing karma with an intention that phala abhisanti, that a desire for karma phala, that is something which is far inferior to Karma Yoga, which is done with an Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. So that is the meaning of first line. Durena hyevaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Then what else has to be done? Buddhau sharanam anvichya. That means you seek refuge. You seek or you take shelter under this buddhi yoga. Here, whenever it is said buddhi yoga, we should say this karma yoga buddhi. We have heard about two buddhis, yoga buddhi and sankhya buddhi. So this is the context of karma yoga. So karma yoga buddhi is to be understood here. Unless Shankaracharya specifically mentions that in a particular context this buddhi means sankhya buddhi, that he is going to say in the next two shlokas. So here buddhau sharanam anvichya krupanaha phalahetavaha. Krupanaha means dinaha, pitiable people. These pitiable people, who are they? Phalahetavaha, those who become the cause for their phala. Phalahetu. Phalahetu means, hetu is cause. Phalahetu means phalasya hetu, one who becomes the cause for that phalam. That once, if only you desire, you become the cause. If you do not desire, you do not become the cause. So that is the picture. So let us see the words. Durena hi avaram karma. Durena hi. Hi means yasmat. It is an avyaya, which means yasmat. Because Durena hi avaram karma buddhi yogat dhananjaya. Hey Dhananjaya, buddhi yogat means in comparison with buddhi yoga, in comparison with this samatva buddhi or sankhya, that karma yoga buddhi, karma, that is action. Durena hi avaram. Durena avaram. Avaram means it is far inferior. Durena means at a distance. It has to be kept at a distance. This is something durena hyavaram. That is, it has to be kept at a distance. You just can't bring it anywhere near karma yoga. You follow? Yes. You can't bring it anywhere near karma yoga. Durena hyavaram. It is far inferior. Avara means inferior. Avara. Vara means superior. So you know vadhu vara. Vadhu is the bride, and Vara is the bridegroom. Vara is the bridegroom. So Vara is means Vrunite dhatu. Vrunite, that is somebody who has been chosen, somebody who is special, somebody who is rather particularly chosen, a particularly chosen person. That is what is called Vara. Vara means superior. In fact, in Vaishnava Sampradaya there is a Muni, there are Munis also called Varavara Muni. Varavara is Shrestha. Superior among superior, Varavara, Shresthanam Shrestha. So like that, Varavara. The opposite of Vara is Avara. Ma plus Vara is Avara, which is inferior. Vara is superior and Avara is inferior. Durena hyavaram karma. This karma which is done with a desire for the fruit of action is far inferior. It has to be kept far away. It can't be brought anywhere close, anywhere near this karma yoga, buddhi yoga, dhananjaya. Tasmat, therefore, buddhau sharanam anvichya. Buddhau is in saptami vibhakti. Buddhi is the word. Buddhau, that means in buddhi. In the buddhi. Buddhi means this yoga buddhi. Sharanam anvichya. You seek refuge. Sharanam. Sharanam you know. Sharanagati you know. Sharana is seeking shelter, seeking refuge. So that is it. Sharanam anvichya. Anvichya is you seek. Then, krupanaha phalahetavaha, he is making a statement. Phalahetavaha. Phalahetu is the word. Phalahetu, the plural is phalahetavaha. Shambhu, shambhavaha, something like that. Hetu, hetavaha. Phalahetavaha. That is the people who are the cause for the fruit of their action. They are the phalahetavaha. Who are they? What are they? Krupanaha, dinaha. They have to be pitied. So that is the meaning of the shloka. Let us read Shankaracharya's Bhashyam. Yat punaha samatva buddhi yuktam ishvararadhanartham karma etasmat karmanaha durena ati viprakarshena hyavaram can also be broken hi avaram nikrustam karma phalarthina kriyamanam buddhi yogat samatva buddhi yuktat karmanah janma maranadi hetutvat dhananjaya. Okay. So yat punaha samatva buddhi yuktam ishvararadhanartham karma Etasmat karmana durena ati viprakarshena hi avaram nikrushtam karma phalarthina kriyamanam buddhi yogat samatva buddhi yogat. Okay, which means yat punaha. Again, when you come to this, when you talk about this, yat punaha is switching over to another subject. Yat punaha, when you switch over to the other subject, samatva buddhi yuktam ishvararadhanartham karma. This ishvararadhanartham karma, that is the karma which is say pursued as an order from the Lord, that is Ishvara Aradhana. Aradhana is not worship. Aradhana means you obey the order, you obey that universal order, let us say. Instead of referring to a particular thing called Ishvara, let us say that universal order. That universal order called Ishvara, and you are following that order. So that is Samatva Buddhi. You are doing it without expecting the result of this karma. We are not here referring to some working in some corporate office where you are in a dilemma whether to take salary or not. It is not that karma. We are referring to a Vedokta karma. We are referring to some ritual where there is a promise, where there is some promise of some particular benefit from that karma. You do a particular karma, you become successful in this. You do some other karma, you putra kameshti, you get a son. You do some other karma, you have some wealth. So all these karmas where that supernatural element is involved, this intervention of something supernatural, intervention of this thing is involved, that is karma. We are not talking about some routine karma in the office. In the routine karma in the office also, this karmanyeva adhikaraste can be applied in the sense that you do it in an ethical manner. You do it so that you do it in such a way that you are not greedy. Ma grudha kasyas vidhanam. You are not supposed to entertain greed and you are not supposed to cheat others. So that is what is karma there. Whatever is enjoined by the society, it can be dharma, it can be dharma also includes law. In fact, there are two aspects of say dharma. One is a dharma which is a non-enforceable thing and a dharma which is enforceable thing. The non-enforceable thing is the general code of conduct. You have to respect your parents. You meet your guru and then you salute your guru. Then all other elders whom you have to respect, you have to give respect to them. So like that. And then whenever there is you have to do some dhanam, dharmam. So all these things you have to donate. Dhanam is donation. So like that, all good deeds, they come under, they are something which are not enforceable. It is something, it is an unenforceable thing. There is another thing which is enforceable. That is, if you cheat somebody, you can be put behind bars, you can be prosecuted. So that is something which is enforceable. If somebody does some cheating or somebody commits a theft or commits some other offense, so he can be punished. So that is the enforceable aspect. So both these things are broadly covered under dharma. So in say in the business, when you are talking about the corporate type of environment, then there also it applies in the sense that you are not supposed to cheat. You may say somehow say hoodwink the law. You may hoodwink the law, but that again is not proper karma. It is basically a nishiddha karma because that is been something which is prohibited by law. Law is again part of our dharma only. Law is nothing. Law is something. It is not something which is strangely imposed on us. It is something which has been made by us. It is our own collective will. A law is something which is made according to the felt needs of the people. According to the felt needs of the people only, the lawmakers make the law. When the maximum number of people demand a particular thing, taking into consideration their grievances, they make a law. So whatever law is made, that is something which is dharma. You have to accept it. So you cannot say that it is says unethical. Sometimes some strange cases may be there. There again people have to agitate, people have to again take it to the notice of the lawmakers and then see that it is rectified. So that is some exceptional case may be there. But in general, law is in accordance with dharma, otherwise it cannot survive, it cannot be accepted by the people. So anyway, here Yat punaha samatva buddhiyuktam ishvararadhanartham karma. That ishvararadhanartham karma means not worshipping a Ishvara, worshipping the social order, respecting the social order, that greater order of things. So karmanaha, etasmat karmanaha, that means in comparison with this karma. In comparison with this karma, durena ati viprakarshena. Ati viprakarshena means to be kept very far away, viprakarsha. that is to be kept far away, ati viprakarshena, hi avaram. Avaram is nikrustam. Nikrustam again is inferior. Avaram is, Shankaracharya is giving the meaning, nikrustam. Nikrustam is inferior. Karma, phalarthina kriyamanam. Who is the person who does this work? Phalarthi. Phalarthina kriyamanam. That is somebody who is a phalarthi. Phalarthi is the word. Phalarthina is trutiya vibhakti for phalarthi. Phalarthina kriyamanam karma is something which is far inferior to somebody, to the karma which is done by somebody who is respecting the social order. So that is it. Phalarthina kriyamanam buddhi yogat means samatva buddhi yogat. Samatva buddhi is again nishkama karma yogat. Nishkama karma yogat karmanaha. What is the result of this phalarthi? What is the result of this karma which is done by a phalarthi? Janma varanadi hetutvat. That is janma varanadi hetu. That is the cause for this janma and marana. Then do you mean to say that somebody who does nishkama karma does not die? You get the question. You mean to say that the man who does nishkama karma, a man who is doing with a samatva buddhi, is he not going to die? Not that. Our approach to life and death. Our approach to life and death. Then the person who is a jnani, he knows that only the body is dying. It is not the atma which is dying. His so-called I, to which he refers, it is this I is nothing but the pure Shuddha Chaitanya. It is I is nothing but the pure consciousness which never dies. That is always a sat. It always exists. Only the body is asat. So that is why this janma marana hetutvat means this person who is interested in this phala abhisandhi, he is a fellow who gets rotating in that say janma marana cycle. Whereas the person who is a jnani or a person who is doing this karma yoga leads to chitta shuddhi, and that chitta shuddhi gradually leads to jnana. So one is a direct route, another is a slightly circuitous route. So that is the only difference. The other circuitous route also is okay. For 99.9% of the people, the circuitous route is prescribed. So this, if you don't even follow that circuitous route, then you are in that janma marana cycle. So janma marana adi hetutvat, that ordinary karma is far inferior to the karma which is done with Ishwararpana buddhi. That is the meaning of this line. Yata evam yoga vishayayam buddhau tat paripakajayam va sankhya buddhau sharanam ashrayam abhaya prapti karanam anvichha prarthayasva. Okay, yata evam, because of this, yataha evam, because of this, yoga vishayayam buddhau tat paripakajayam va sankhya buddhau. This va means or. So he is giving two options. Buddhau sharanam anvichha, that third pada is there. Buddhau sharanam anvichha rupana phalahetavaha. In buddhi you seek refuge. What type of buddhi? So the first option is yoga buddhi, that is karma yoga buddhi. The second option is jnana yoga buddhi. Jnana yoga buddhi straight away it is not coming. Straight away, once you do this karma anushtana, slowly it leads to chitta purification of mind, cooling of emotions, etc. So internal discipline, emotional discipline, as we can call it. So with all this, jnana nishta develops slowly. So he is giving two options, both the options, that is yata evam yoga vishayayam buddhau tat paripakajayam va sankhya buddhau. Tat paripaka. Paripaka is, what is paripaka? Paripaka, maturity. You keep a raw fruit for some time, and then it slowly turns yellow, and then it becomes sweet. It becomes mature. That paripaka. So something karma paripakam also we say. Karma, it fructifies, actually it fructifies or matures to become, to give the result. So that is what is paripakaja. So karma, yoga vishayayam buddhau, tat paripakajayam va sankhya buddhau. Sankhya buddhi is the fructification of yoga buddhi. Sankhya buddhi is something which is arising out of the proper performance of, proper implementation of this karma yoga. Sankhya buddhi is paripakaja. Paripakaja means something which is born out of. Jalaja, something born out of jalam. Pankaja, something born out of this, mud. So like that, both refer to the lotus. Jalaja and also Pankaja both refer to lotus. Ja means something which is born out of. Paripakaja is something which is born out of the fructification of Karma Yoga. Tat Paripakajayam, that is something which is born out of the fructification of Karma Yoga. Is this word clear? Paripakajayam va Sankhya Buddhau. Sankhya Buddhi is something which is born out of the fructification of Karma Yoga. That means once you perform or implement this Karma Yoga in a proper way, your Jnana Nishtha, that automatically develops. Buddhau Sharanam Ashrayam Abhaya Prapti Karanam. Sharanam we know. Sharanam is Ashrayam. Ashrayam again is a shelter. Ashraya, Vimanashrayam is a place. So like that, Ashraya is a shelter. Abhaya Prapti Karanam. What type of shelter is this? Why do you take shelter? Because you need some protection. After all, you take refuge or you take shelter because you take something like cyclone shelter. So okay, let us imagine a cyclone shelter. So shelter, you go to a place only to get out of your sense of fear. Only for fearlessness you go there. Abhaya is something which is guaranteed in Vedanta. Vedanta, that is Vairagya. Vairagya alone gives Abhaya. All other things, they are full of Bhaya. They are associated with fear. So in fact, there is a very interesting shloka from Bhartruhari. Bhartruhari, you know? Bhartruhari was a king. Initially, he was a king who later renounced his kingdom, gave up his kingdom and later became a monk. So this Bhartruhari, he was a poet. He was a great grammarian. He wrote a huge book called Vakyapadiyam, which is studied by all the linguists. Philosophy of language, actually it is the philosophy of language, Vakyapadiyam. Then it is a very tough book which I have not also read. Then Vakyapadiyam is one. And he has written Subhashita Trishati, some 300 Subhashitas, that is wise saying. Subhashita means a wise saying. They are all in the form of poetry. They are all in the form of quatrains, some poems only. So there is a beautiful say shloka. Bhoge roga bhayam kule chuti bhayam rupe jaraya bhayam, something like that. Bhoge roga bhayam. Bhoga means what? Enjoyment. Bhoga is bhuj, from the dhatu bhuj. When you want to eat something, you are bothered about cholesterol, you are bothered about sugar, you are bothered about this or that. This bhoga not only means eat, any type of sensual pleasure. All types of sensual pleasures, when performed in an irregular way, they lead to some disease or the other. Bhoge roga bhayam. There is a fear of roga. So then, kule chuti bhayam. You feel that you belong to a very high class. So then there is a fear that class, you may fall from that class. Your children may fall from that class. So that sort of fear will be there. Vitte Rupalad Bhayam, if you are a very, very rich man, then there is always the fear from the king. Because he told, Bhartruhari wrote it when kings were there. Even now, okay, let us say if you earn money, you have to pay some 30% to the income tax department. In olden days, it was not even like that. In olden days, the king, if he liked your house, he could just occupy your house. There is a story about this, what is this place, this palace, Falaknuma Palace. Falaknuma Palace was built by the minister of Nizam. So the Nizam was once invited to that place for dinner, and Nizam just looked around and said, he started praising that building. He started praising that building. Oh, it's so nice, it's very, very, very prominently located and whatnot. Then the minister, he learned that he had to jolly well give it up. And then minister said, Saab, this is Apka Nazarana, I am giving it to you. So the king happily occupied it on the very next day. So like that, if you are a very wealthy man, you should be afraid of the king, because the king can any day come and occupy take away your house. So like that. Then the shloka goes on like that. So everything is associated with fear. The shloka still says a few things. Rupe jaraya bhayam. If you are a beautiful person, jaraya bhayam. Jara is old age. So all our beauty industry survives on this fear only. Somebody who is a beautiful person, a beautiful man or a woman, so he or she, in fact, they insure their body parts. You must be aware of it. They insure their body parts for so many millions of dollars and whatnot. So like that, Rupe Jaraya Bhayam, they are afraid of the old age. All beautiful people, they are afraid of the old age. All our beauty industry is because of this only. Then, Bale Ripu Bhayam, if you are a strong person, you are afraid of the enemy. Bala, if you are a very Bale Ripu Bhayam, Ripu is enemy. Bale Ripu Bhayam means if you are a very strong person, you are afraid of your enemy. Like all our Western countries, they are always afraid of all other smaller countries. Though we are incapable of harming them, they are always afraid of us. They always try to tinker us. They always try to do some harm to us. And somewhere they also get beaten. Somewhere some fellow goes and does something. So like that, Bale Ripu Bhayam, somebody who is a strong man in a village. It is something, the world also is like a village. Like a village landlord tries to harm a small fellow. The bigger people in the world, the big nations in the world, they try to harm smaller nations. So that is Bale Ripu Bhayam. Then something it goes on like that. The last line says, Sarvam Vastu Bhayanvitam Bhuvin Runam Vairagyameva Bhayam. Sarvam Vastu Bhayanvitam. Everything in this world is associated with fear. If you want to have something, it is associated with some fear. If you accumulate wealth, you have to be afraid. You have to lock your doors properly. All these problems are there. Vairagyameva abhayam. This vairagya, this dispassion. Vairagya does not mean throwing away all your assets. Vairagya does not mean throwing away or becoming a pauper or becoming a beggar. Vairagya means you be equal to that, whether you have it or not. You do not be happy when you have it. Don't be unhappy if you don't have it. You develop a sense of dispassion and then you enjoy. Tena tyaktena bhunjitah, something like that. So, of course, the tena tyaktena bhunjitah, there, that word tyaga, that is it is a slightly different thing. Anyway, vairagyameva abhayam. What gives you abhayam, fearlessness, is vairagya, the sense of dispassion. So, Vedanta is something which guarantees abhaya. Abhaya is actually an important concept also in Vedanta. In Upanishad also in a few places that Abhaya says, Jnani abhayam vindati, he becomes fearless. That means for what? There is also a line which says, Dvitiyad vai bhayam. Dvitiyad vai bhayam means Dvitiyad eva bhayam. Dvitiya means the second one. If you see somebody as something different from you, then only you have fear. If you see everything as the manifestation of Brahman, if you see Brahman everywhere, there is no question of fear. If you see somebody as a thief only, then you will be afraid. If you see somebody as somebody who is a potential threat to you, you will be afraid. So that is how all other Western countries, they develop paranoia. Their philosophy is only paranoid survive. So only paranoid, they are always in a state of paranoia, fear. So like that, Vairagyam is abhayam, that what is this Dvitiya Dvai Bhayam. When you see an enemy only, then only you have a fear. So in all our temples also, the gods and goddesses, they have this Abhaya Mudra and Varada Mudra. You are aware of this? This is a very common thing, Abhaya is something which gives you wisdom, which gives you fearlessness, Abhaya. Suppose you seek Abhaya, the so-and-so king, he obtained Abhaya from so-and-so goddess or god, something like that. When you say that, it means that because of the grace of that particular deity, he became wise and then he became fearless. Varada is the palm points downwards. Varada, the palm actually points downwards. Which means, of course, the God is giving something. God is giving you some wealth, this, that and whatnot. But at the same time, it is binding you. It is not giving you abhayam. Varam, whatever, you may ask for some money, you may ask for this, that, etc. But it is actually binding you. It is not going to give you fearlessness. So the fearlessness is something which we have to understand as students of Vedanta. Fear is there only when you see the difference, only when you perceive the other fellow as an enemy. If you are friendly, there is no question of enmity. There is no question of fear. In fact, while explaining the word Shanti also, I explained the same thing. Shanti, the word Shanti, derived from what? I think I told you sometimes. Shama. The meaning of Shama is Antarindriya Nigraha. That is controlling one's mind, controlling one's passions, controlling one's hatred, etc. So that is what is called Shama. Shama means you get over your feelings of hatred. So that is what is Shama. Shanti is from the root Shama, only Shama, that Shanti comes. That means if it is not an ordinary state of peace, it is a state of peace which is achieved by some internal discipline on both sides. It is not as though you destroy your enemy and then now there is no problem and then we say it is peaceful. There is no clear translation for this word Shanti. In English there is no clear translation because peace only means, okay, there is no absence of disorder. Absence of disorder is peace. But Shanti is something more than that. Shanti is much more than that. Shanti is a product of your own internal discipline, your own disappearance of hate, etc., which is reciprocated by the other person also. When you don't have hatred to another fellow, that fellow also will not have hatred to you. So that is a state of peacefulness which is called Shanti. So that is why we say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, that Adhyatmika Bhautika Daivika, that's a different thing. Okay, so now, sir, Abhayam, where are we? Sharanam, Abhayam, Abhaya Prapti Karanam Anvicha. This, then Sankhya Buddhi gives you this Abhaya. Sankhya Buddhi is that equanimity. So when you are not bothered about this the fruit of the result, then, this fruit of your action, then, and also when you are not bothered about this, the success and failure, then obviously you are having abhaya, you are reaching that state of abhaya, fearlessness. Sharanam Ashrayam Abhaya Prapti Karanam Anvicha Prarthayasva. Anvicha means you seek refuge. So it is a direction, you seek refuge or you seek shelter. Anvicha means Prarthayasva, you desire, you speak, you seek, you pursue. So next line, Paramartha Jnana Sarano Bhava Ityarthaha. So okay, what is this Sharanam? What is seeking shelter under what? He is further explaining Paramartha Jnana Saranaha Bhava. Paramartha Jnana, it is only the knowledge of the ultimate. Paramartha, that is the ultimate. Param is supreme. The knowledge of the supreme, the knowledge of the ultimate, only that will give you this fearlessness. Next line, Yataha Avaram Karma Kurvanaha Krupanaha Dinaha Phala Hetavaha Phala Trishna Prayuktas Santaha Yova Yeta Daksharam Gargi Aviditva Asmal Lokat Praiti Sakrupanaha Iti Shrutehe. Okay. Yataha, because Avaram Karma Kurvanaha, that is those who are doing this inferior karma. Inferior karma is karma with phalabhisandhi, desire for the fruit of action. So that Avaram Karma Kurvanaha means those who are in the process of doing it. Who are they? They are Krupanaha Dinaha. They are to be pitied. They are pitiable people. Phala Hetavaha. They are also the cause. They are also the cause for the fruit of action. Phala Hetu. Hetu is the cause. Phala Hetavaha. Phala Trishna Prayukta Santaha. Phala Trishna. Trishna is desire. Thirst. Actually, Trishna means actually thirst. The thirst for the fruit of action. Phala Trishna Prayuktaha. Prayuktaha means who are motivated by. Prayuktaha means those who are prompted by, those who are motivated by the desire for that fruit. Phala Trishna Prayukta Santaha. Here he is giving a quotation from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is Yova Yeta Daksharam Gargi Aviditva Small Lokat Praiti Sakrupanaha is from one Brahmanam called Akshara Brahmanam in the third Adhyaya of Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. 3-8-10 means third Adhyaya, 8th Brahmana, 10 means 10th mantra, 10th Brahmana. Every Adhyaya has some sections, and each section in that Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is called a Brahmanam. So Brihadaranyaka, 8th, so and so Adhyaya, so and so Brahmanam, so and so mantra. So 3-8-10 is that Akshara Brahmanam. In that Akshara Brahmanam it says, O Gargi, whoever say departs from this world, Aviditva Asmal Lokat Praiti means whoever departs from this world without knowing this imperishable Brahman, he is somebody who has to be pitied. He is a pitiable fellow. That is the meaning. In fact, there is this comes in the context of a sort of discussion. In olden days, in all kings' courts, there used to be some Shastra Sabhas now and then. The kings were not fools in olden days. In fact, our history says, throughout history, we have got very, very great kings. Say, for example, just now I told the story of this Bhartruhari, who was a king, he was a poet. We have another king, scholar, poet called Bhojaraja. He was also a great expert in architecture. He was a great poet. He was a great expert in architecture who wrote some huge books called, name of the book I just forget, Samarangana Sarvabhauma. Samarangana Sarvabhauma is a book on architecture. Unfortunately, there are not many people who are able to understand it because it is full of technical words. Our Sanskrit scholars, they don't do any research. So most of the people, let me say, they do not do any research. They are content with reading their prescribed syllabus. So that is why my guru says that there is somebody in Rajasthan who did some research. My guru means Pullal Ramachandrudu. He was saying that Samarangana Sarvabhauma was, there is only one scholar in Rajasthan who has done some research on that. And nobody knows because most of the terms are technical terms. We do not know. So like that. So, but anyway, what is this thing? Yova etad aksharam gargi aviditva small lokat praiti. One who departs from this world without knowing this akshara brahma. This akshara is imperishable. Imperishable Brahman is somebody who is a krupana. Yeah, I was telling about the king's courts. Yeah, king, this comes in the context of Gargi Yagyavalkya Samvada. It is not even a samvada, it is a vada. There is a discussion between this Gargi and Yagyavalkya. Gargi was a lady, she was a scholar. In olden days, we should also see another point here. There is often a very great misunderstanding that our people, they kept all the women, say, ignorant and whatnot. That might have happened subsequently in the recent past, but not in olden days. In olden days, the women were very great scholars. Janaka's court, say this, along with Yagyavalki, this Gargi and some other women were there. They were all scholars. They were all scholars, and then when there is an argument between Yagyavalkya and all other scholars who were already present, this woman also gets up and asks some questions. Then he explains the nature of that Akshara Brahma, that imperishable Brahman. What is that ultimate? Basic discussion was on that. In all king's courts, there used to be the Shastra Sabhas. People of various schools, means somebody from Nyaya, one Nayayika, another fellow a Mimamsaka, another fellow may be a Buddhist, another fellow may be a Jain, another fellow may be a Vedanti. So all these people, they used to come and present their arguments. They used to present their arguments and then they used to discuss as to what is the ultimate nature of things, and then ultimately, okay, after some wrangling and all that, they used to go away. So in our country, there was such a free discussion about the nature of reality. So that is why we have so many books which are coexisting. They have not been destroyed. They are all coexisting. So that is the picture. So anyway, here, Yova etat aksharam gargi. Yaha means whoever. Yova etat aksharam means that imperishable Brahman. O gargi aviditva means not knowing it. Asmat lokat praiti. That means who departs. Praiti means pra plus yeti, gacchati. Praiti means gacchati means which means departs from this world. Asmat lokat means from this world. Whoever departs without knowing this and without realizing this imperishable Brahman, sakrupanaha iti shrutehe. So that Shruti says, so such a man, such a person used to be pitied. Yeah, iti shrutehe. Then, so this here it ends. This what is this? This bhashyam ends here. Then, so this shloka mainly tells Durena Hyavaram Karma. I think it is very clear. Yes. Okay, let us read the next shloka. Samatva buddhi yuktaha yuktaha san swadharma manutishtan yat phalam prapnoti tat shrunu. So samatva, this is the avatarika for the next shloka. Samatva buddhi yuktaha san, that is while being in that samatva buddhi, while being established in that karma yoga, swadharma manutishtan, and somebody who is implementing his swadharma. Swadharma also we know. What is swadharma? There is a particular dharma enjoined on each person depending on his place in society. Somebody who is supposed to swadharma for a king to give protection, swadharma for a brahmana to study Veda Adhyayanam Adhyapanam, that is his swadharma. So like that, swadharma anutishtam yat phalam prapnoti, that is whatever is the result which he gets. What is that? Shrunu. Shrunu means suno, listen. Let us read this shloka. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute tasmad yogaya yujyasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. So this line is again very often quoted. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. That is, yoga is skill in action. So that is what it is said. And sometimes it is also wrongly understood. Yoga karmasu kaushalam means yoga, we usually by the word yoga, we only means yoga asanas, all this physical power yoga and what type of yoga. That is not what the subject here. Yoga is your approach to work, your understanding about the work. So that is what is yoga here. So the shloka, meaning of the shloka is like this. Buddhi yukto jahatiha ubhe sukruta dushkrute. That is, the person who is associated with this samatva buddhi, he leaves behind here itself. Here itself means in this world itself, he leaves behind the sukruta and dushkruta. That is punyam and papam. The pleasant, the positive and negative effects of your karma. Positive effect of karma is to go to some Swarga Loka, some other Shiva Loka, some other Vishnu Loka, or some other Loka. Negative effect is to go to some hell. Hells also, there are so many grades of hell. So you go to the worst hell or some other slightly better hell. That is, so these are all the things. That is the karma phala. Sukruta is the positive effect, positive result. Dushkruta is something which is the negative result. Then therefore, tasmat yogaya yujyasva. Therefore, you get engaged, you get tuned to this buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means this jnana yoga, sorry, not jnana yoga, this is get tuned to this karma yoga, because yoga is karmasu kaushalam. That is the skill in action. He is going to explain why it is skill. That is, karma is something which is binding. Karma, whenever you do a ritual where you do with a particular intention, so that actually binds. Karma gives a karma phala, and for that karma phala may have an impact on somebody else, and for that karma phala you have to again take another birth, and then again in that birth again you do some other karmas, and then again you get another birth. Maybe sometimes you may get birth as some inferior, some jantu, some sort of animal. Sometimes you may get a superior birth, and sometimes you may get some inferior birth, depending on the actions we do in this world. So that is the siddhanta here. So yoga karmasu kaushalam means in this particular yoga, while you do karma with an Ishwararpana buddhi, that karma phala is not afflicting you. You are untainted by the karma phala. You are untouched by the karma phala, unaffected by the karma phala. So that is why a karma which is the very nature of karma is to bind you. And you are making the same karma as a tool for release, for say moksha. Moksha is basically release from all types of say bandhas, all types of bonds. The release is moksha. Bandha is one thing. The opposite of bandha is moksha. Bandha is binding. Release, that is moksha. Munch, it comes from a word dhatu. The root, the Sanskrit dhatu is called munch. Munch means release. Muncha dhatu, that is moksha. That is, all the bonds are broken. So that is it. So a karma whose very nature is binding, the same karma becomes a tool for release. The same karma becomes a tool for liberation, let us say. Liberation is a better word. The same karma becomes a sadhana or a prakriya. It is a tool for liberation. So that is it. That is why yoga karmasu kaushalam it is said. Yoga is something which is a skill in action. You understand this meaning? So that is the overall meaning. Let us see the words. Buddhi yuktaha, that means buddhya yuktaha, that means one who is associated with samatva buddhi. Jahati iha, iha means here and here itself. Jahati means gets rid of, discards, gets rid of. Then ubhe means both. Ubhe means both. Sukruta dushkrute, sukrutam plus dushkrutam. becomes Sukrta Dushkrute. That is a dual number. With this Punyam and Papam. The Anvaya is like this. Buddhi Yuktaha Sukrta Dushkrute Ubhe Iha Iva Jahati. A Buddhi Yukta, somebody who is associated with this Buddhi, here itself he discards both Punyam and Papam. The second line is Tasmat, therefore, Yogaya, for the purpose of yoga, Yujyasva. Yujyasva means you get tuned to that, get engaged in that, get attached to that. Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam. Karmasu means in actions. Karmasu is in Saptami Vibhakti. Saptami, you know, Saptami Vibhakti, Karmasu, Rameshu. So like that. Rame, Ramayoha, Rameshu, Karmasu. So Karmasu means in actions. Skill in actions is yoga. That is the meaning of the last line. So let us read Shankaracharya's commentary. Buddhi yuktaha samatva vishayaya buddhya yuktaha buddhi yuktaha sa jahati parityajati iha asmin loke Ubhe Sukruta Dushkrute Punya Pape Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Dvarena Yataha Tasmat Samatva Buddhi Yogaya Yujyasva Ghatasva. Okay. So here Shankaracharya is giving a small explanation also. We know that Karma Yoga by itself will not release you from, will not lead you to liberation. You see, there is a karma phala, which is the binding in nature. Karma Yoga, in this world, in this life, you have chosen to be a Karma Yogi. And then you are unattached by the fruits of action in this Janma. What about your Sanchita Karma, your previous karma, backlog, all that baggage which is there coming from previous births? So that baggage again will give you result. You may be untainted by the fruit of the action in this world, but what about that baggage? Baggage will be there. So Shankaracharya is going to explain that baggage will go only when you become a jnani. In this life itself or in this janma itself, if you become a jnani, even that baggage goes. You follow? I think I told earlier also. You see, Karma Yogi gets rid of karma phala of this janma. But when Karma Yogi also attains Chitta Shuddhi and then again also attains Jnana, then the entire karma gets destroyed, gets nullified, because Jnani is somebody who realizes that he is nothing but this pure Brahman, pure Shuddha Chaitanya. So that is the picture. So that is what Shankaracharya is explaining. Ubhe Punya Pape Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Dvarena. So Karma Yoga by itself cannot lead you to that liberation from the cycle of birth and death. This Karma Yoga will slowly lead you to Sattva Shuddhi. This Sattva Shuddhi lead you to Jnana Prapti. So this is all the door, Dvara. Dvarena means through the door. Dvara is door. The Sanskritam Dvara is English door. So this Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Dvarena, through the door, through this door, this first is Sattva. It leads to the purification of mind. And purified mind, it is capable of realizing the self, realizing the Atma Jnana. So only then the fellow gets rid of all that backlog also. So that is it. So Buddhi Yuktaha Samatva Vishaya Buddhya Yuktaha. Buddhi Yuktaha is explaining Samatva Buddhi Vishaya Yuktaha. That is one who is associated with this or in that frame of mind. One who is in the frame of mind of that Samatva Buddhi. That is equanimity of mind. Buddhi Yuktaha Sa Jahati Parityajati. You can see the words Jahati means Parityajati. That means he discards, he leaves, gets rid of. Iha Asmin Loke means here, which means in this loka itself. In this loka itself. Ubhe, both Sukrta Dushkrute means Punya Pape. Punyam and Papam. This is a dual number, so that is why it is there. Sukrta Dushkrute Punya Pape. How? Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Dvarena. In the process, this is a parampara. This is a process of Sattva Shuddhi and Jnana Prapti and whatnot. Then, yataha, because of this, tasmat, therefore, Samatva Buddhi Yogaya Yujyasva. You be engaged. Yujyasva Ghatasva. That means you be engaged or you stick to you stick to, or be united with, yujyasva, be united with this buddhi yoga, this samatva buddhi yoga, because this is ultimately leading you through a better path, and which will, this Jnana Dwara, it will also lead you to the door of knowledge. So that is the picture. The next line, yogo hi karmasu kaushalam swadharmakhyeshu karmasu vartamanasya ya siddhya siddhyo samatva buddhihi siddhya siddhyoho ईश्वरार्पित चेतस्तया तत् कौशलम कुशल भावः तद्हि कौशलम we'll read later. Okay, yogo hi karmasu kaushalam. This is, he is just repeating the words. Yoga he means yasmat, because yoga is karmasu kaushalam. It is a skill in actions rather. Swadharma, what type of actions? Swadharmakhyeshu karmasu vartamanasya. What type of actions means? Swadharmakhyeshu karmasu. Each dharma, swadharma, for every man who is in a particular varna and ashrama, there are certain dharmas which are prescribed. So in those, a person who is engaged in those karmas, or a person who is engaged in those karmas, ya siddhya siddhyo samatva buddhihi, that buddhi which is equal to, which is neutral to both siddhi and asiddhi, both success and failure. So that buddhi, Ishwararpita chetastaya, that is because it has already been, it is performed with a sense that it is all Ishwararpana, it is all as a respect for the universal order, as a respect for the divine order, Ishwararpana buddhi. Arpita chetastaya tat kaushalam kushala bhavaha, that it sees, that is kaushalam, that is skill. Kushala bhava, kaushalam is kushala bhavaha. Then he is explaining what exactly is this kaushalam. Why is it kaushalam? Why is it kaushalam? Tadhi kaushalam yat bandhana svabhavanyapi karmani samatva buddhya स्वभावात् निवर्तन्ते तस्मात् समत्व बुद्धि युक्तो भवत्वम्. Okay, so he is explaining tad hi kaushalam means that only is kaushalam, that is skill. Why? What is that? Yat bandhana svabhavanyapi karmani bandhana svabhavani, that means all karmas, their very nature is to bind a person. Bind a person means they give karma phala, and then karma phala, you for that enjoying karma phala, suppose you do some yajna, that yajna promises you swarga, so jolly well you have to go to that swarga, jolly well you have to come back, jolly well you will do some other karma. So it is a bandhana, it is something which is a binding in nature. Bandhana svabhava, its very svabhava is binding. Bandhana svabhavanyapi karmani samatva buddhya, that means with that sense of equanimity, svabhavat nivartante, that is, he is making them give up their svabhava. Karma's svabhava, or very nature, svabhava means nature, the very nature of karma is to bind. He is making the svabhava disappear, so he is making the karma lose its characteristic, lose its very nature. He is making it defunct rather, let us say. There is a thing which is capable of harming you. You are making it defunct. You are making it powerless. Karma is having the power to bind you. So you are making it powerless by your attitude to that karma. So that is the picture. Is the sound okay? Yes. Because this mic is slipping. Okay. Swabhavat nivartate tasmat samatva buddhi yukto bhavatvam. Therefore, you become samatva buddhi yuktaha. You be one who is associated with that samatva buddhi. So, tadhi kaushalam. Why is it called kaushalam? Why is it called skill in action? Because the very nature of karma is to bind. You are making it ineffective. You are making it neutral. You are making it a tool for self-realization. You are making it a tool for liberation. So, that is a skill. Suppose an enemy throws a stone at you, you are using it against him, or you are just avoiding, and then you are getting some positive fruit of that. You are getting some positive result of that. So that is what is kaushalam. Then next shloka, the yasmat, because of this. Next shloka, karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantyanāmayam. Okay, here karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha. Okay, he